Hello and welcome to Ram IS. Myself is K. Sivej, and as usual we will continue with the series of history. So today we will talk about art and culture. Normally this segment gives so much pain to the students, mainly because they don't take the effort to solve the problem. Otherwise, this is very simple as like other segments of the history. And you people must take small initiative to solve the tricky issues of art and culture. India, a very different country different from rest of the world, the unique country in the world. Multiracial, multicultural, multilingual, multi-religious, and so many multis in this multi, making this country a polyglot. This is polyglot society. So obviously, the estimates of art and culture, that varies a lot, whether it is a classical or the folk, or fusion of both. There are variety of the cultural characteristics, artistic phenomena. So we need to address all these things, but in a very, very pointed and selective format. Remember one thing, that we are here to become an IS. So there are certain objectivity defined in tackling with the syllabus also. So many of the students, we take the view that there are certain dimensions defined, the beginning from architecture, then sculpture, then painting, then music. These are the core segments where you can search some important informations with various degree of classifications. Examples, that's it, nothing complicated. And thereafter give some minor focus on, like we have the puppetry, we have the numismatics, and some segments related to martial arts and the festivals, regional festivals, local festivals. That has to be given care, but the main focus you give on the top 5 list that I told you. And there must be a very focused study of art and culture. Suppose we take the example of architecture. So then in the field of architecture, you must start with the cave architecture. Beginning from the cave built by Mauryans, Ashoka and Dashrath, and then you make a classification. Look at the picture also. There are 4 caves in the Barabar Hills and the Nagarjuni Hills. So you must see some 4-5 important points of the caves built by Ashoka and Dashrath, whether it is a polished or decoration, all this. Then enter into the caves, like we have Ajanta, Ellora, Elephanta, Bagh, Karle, Udaygiri Khandagiri cave or Badami cave. Must find some important features related to architecture. And then we come across with evolution of the temples. Evolution of temples. We understand that the evolution of temples in the 5 phases. So what are the phases that led to the development of temples in entire India? Beginning from the stone temples or the temples made up of bricks to the magnificent temples constructed. So there are 5 phases. After that, the temple style was categorically made. So here the classification of temples in terms of 3 classifications: the Nagar style or the Beshar, Adravir. Must understand the pictorial things. Nagar. So Nagar further had a classification like Odisha school. We have Khajuraho school and Solanki school. Solanki school. And some of the important issues. So first, what we will do, the general characteristics of the Nagar style, and then these characteristics will be classified in these 3 classifications, sub-schools. There is a similarity in these 3 schools with certain degree of variations. We see here the Odisha, Khajuraho or Solanki school. So main thing, that is a Garbhagriha, and top of them is the Shikhar. We will construct the temples here on the board and then we'll point out certain technical words related to that temple style. So whether it is a Shikhar or the Uru Shikhar or the Amalka or the Kalas, that has to be there. We will present a very good picture for you people so that you can watch and the technical specialties with that associated with that temple. There is Antaral, there is a Mahamandap, then Mandap, then Ardha Mandap. The features of the Nagar style is categorically listed. And if you see the Odisha style, Khajuraho style, Solanki style, there are certain classifications of the Shikhar also. How many types of the Shikhar normally we see in the Nagar style? The first is called Latina or Rekha Prasad. Which is curved inward, this type of Shikhar. Mostly you can find in the Bhubaneswar and temples of Puri. This is Rekha Prasad, Latina. Then second is called Famsana style. Famsana style. This is in the form of the layers, are very much pointed. So this is in the form of the layers, very much pointed. And third is that called the Vallabhi style. So once we will see the picture of all these style and then categorically putting at this point, this is the Vallabhi style. This is a form of the Shikhar they construct, Vallabhi style. If you see the side view of this, it look like. So there is a various method to find the exemplification of the Shikhar. So whether in Odisha style, Odisha school of temple, you go for the Lingaraj temple or the Jagannath temple Puri or the Sun temple Konark, you will find the beauty of these temples with all these technical specialties we have discussed. So it's a very easy to find the method of studying the art and culture. Provided there should be proper arrangements that the technical specialties, and the variations in the sub-schools. Don't mix, and then you'll have a perfect information to complete n number of facts related to that temple, because you have a pictorial understanding about all these things. Fine. So therefore, the Odisha school, like that in the Khajuraho school, whether it is a Kandariya Mahadevi temple, there is a brilliant formation of a sculpture, mostly erotic, taken from the theme of the Kama Sutra in the outer part of the temples, and some speciality of the Nagar style. Then likewise the Solanki style. Generally in Nagar style we don't see any tank in the premises of the temple. But in Solanki style, this is a one exception, where we have the tank known as Suri Kund. And the beauty of this temple is that at equinox, the sun rays directly fall inside the shrine. And there is a huge water tank known as Suri Kund, with steps were decorated with the woods and in the form of the temples. So this is a very special thing that you find in the Sun Temple at Modhera. So this is example, perfect example of the Sun Temple at Modhera, which is basically in the Nagar style with some variation, and here we have the temples. So example with proper classification has to be there. Most of you might have studied the ancient or the medieval India, and it would be easy for you people to catch the period also, in which period I am talking about. So there is some plan. Like that we have the Besar style, which is actually combination of the Nagar and the Dravid style. The combination of the Nagar and Dravid is called Besar style. So Garbhagriha is mostly from the Nagar, and the lofty Shikhar is from the Dravid. And then there are various sub-schools. The Besar style of architecture you can assess at, we have Chalukya of Batapi, the earliest Chalukya. Their temples like Pattadakal temple of Pampana temple, and then a whole temple. Durga temple, Hakim Al-Gudi temple. So Chalukya of Batapi. Second, Rashtrakuta. Rashtrakuta also constructed the temples in the Besar style, the magnificent Kailash temple at Ellora. Then third is coming, which is Besar style, that is the Chalukya of Kalyani. One or two examples in the temple, and one more is that the Hoysala temple. Hoysala temple. These are the newsmakers of these days. So must classify the examples and then have confidence in the information that you get. So you must know the classification without mixing, as simple as you can present in the copy, and that would give you a base structure, and thereafter you can remember and revise it very easily. So the best way, what is the most complicated things that normally students take? There is nowhere we have the complete information of every aspects at one place, and that actually make you very confusing, whether it is a books or the available materials. So the best part is that you must have a complete information at one place, and this proper divided classification, so that you can easily understand it. Then in the Dravid, we will start from the founder of the Dravid style of architecture, that is Pallavas, and the Dravid style of architecture had reached to its climax, and that is during the time of Chola. So whether Rajrajeshwar temple or Gangai Konda Cholapura temple, the things are same for us. So we get a proper classification and the division. So put the things on dot and complete full stop. So that way you can understand the art and culture with 90% of the accuracy. Otherwise, when you started thinking its level of difficulties, it will remain difficult. And then you'll never had a concrete solution for that. Likewise, once we move out from the architectural process of the early medieval period and then enter into the Delhi Sultanate and the Mughal, that architectural method you must define in a proper ways. That is, what is the meaning of arcuate or the trabeate? So, arcuate and trabeate. This is arcuate, which is typical Turkish style, and this is a slab and beam method, which is called trabeate. And early Turkish ruler, they removed this part and then they put the dot here, is called Indo-Islamic culture. Indo-Islamic culture. So trabeate plus arcuate, this is Indo-Islamic culture. And then start putting the examples with proper speciality. So whether it is in Delhi Sultanate, you categorize the slave dynasty and the Khilji and the Tughlaq and the Lodi with proper examples. Then likewise in the Mughal. So that's the main thing, how to arrange the syllabus of art and culture. And once you learn how to arrange the syllabus, it would be easy for you to understand the entire dynamism of art and culture. So try to make it simple rather than making it very mixed complexities of different things. So same thing you can try in the painting also. Here, after taking the Delhi Sultanate and Mughal, you can go for the different, like the Portuguese architecture, which is Iberian style, French architecture, then Indo-Gothic and Indo-Saracenic. Once you understand these terms, then put the example and make it final clearance for your entire understanding. So this is art and culture, this is the method which normally we adopt, and this is a very easy fashion for us to make it very simple thing. So likewise we go for the painting also, what is mural, what is fresco, and what is miniature. So the arrangement of the paintings, and then coming to the folk. Even you understand that there are so many folk paintings, it's not like that. It's a very defined. But even though you can classify the folk paintings at one category, second category and third category, and there are exact similarity in the many folk paintings, so that you can remember it very easily. For example, I have been giving you the Warli painting, which is a folk painting of the Maharashtra and Gujarat tribals living there, Warli tribe. Then similar we have the Pattachitra and the Saura painting. So these three in the same categories, Saura painting of Odisha. So these three in the same category. So thereby apply the brain and then classify the paintings. There is nothing complex in these paintings. So whether it is a folk music or whether it is a folk painting, so I told you that the dimension, that 5, architecture, sculpture, then we have painting, music, and dance, that has to be taken in due care, and the rest minor things you can arrange it. So like that, suppose we have the statue of Nataraj. This is the biggest philosophy because Nataraj, statue of Nataraj is a basically cultural epitome of Cholas. And put the figure on the board and understand each and every point of that statue of Nataraj. That the nimbus is a time, within the time cycle there is a universe, and within the universe there exists everything. So one hand of the Shiva is having the drum and other hand holding the fire. So drum is a sound of creation and fire is object of destruction. This philosophy is very simple, the philosophy of art, the relation between art and philosophy, that those who are created are bound to destroy. Nothing is permanent. This is the biggest philosophy. All heterodox or non-heterodox sects had accepted it. So as simple, that statue of Nataraj, in which the Shiva is in the mode of dancing, that is called Tandava. So Tandava is also categorized as two categories, Anand Tandava and Raudra Tandava. So entire statue can be explained. Even there is a snake, snake is the Kundalina power that is there in the spine, represented by snake normally dormant. But when you touch it, through consciousness it erodes. So he said that your entire energy is concentrated in the spine. If it erodes, then true consciousness can be achieved. So philosophy is very simple. And that was beautifully explained by the statue of Nataraj. I found this statue as the biggest philosophy that anyone can express through the art. Shiva is dancing on the dwarf. This dwarf is Amasmar demons, and that is what? The ignorance and the ego to be crushed. So right now there is no photo, otherwise I would have shown you, and then easily you can understand the whole philosophy there. And that is a way to study art and culture. So we will try to make simple for you, and the rest of the things we will manage. So keep in touch. We'll continue with our program, and the details you can get it. So thank you so much, and we will talk in detail once we'll come across with.